Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to explore one of the most unique combinations of history and landscape in the state. Fort Hancock, located on Sandy Hook, consists of 1,700 acres of old and abandoned military structures. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the bottom right corner and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see similar content. The history of military defense in this area dates back over 160 years. Construction began on the first military installation in this area as early as 1857, but it wouldn't become known as Fort Hancock until 1890. Tasked with protecting New York Harbor, Fort Hancock was an example of the United States' effort to fortify defenses around major port cities leading up to the 20th century. Throughout Fort Hancock, a series of batteries were constructed to defend the harbor by use of mounted guns. Battery Gunnison, named after U.S. Army engineer John Gunnison, is one of the crown jewels of today's Fort Hancock. Through an extensive 15-year rehab project, the battery stands as one of the most well-refurbished in the nation. One of the oldest batteries at Fort Hancock is Battery Potter, operational from 1898 to 1907. Battery Potter used disappearing guns designed to elevate out of the battery's lower enclosure to fire at the enemy. This aerial depiction shows what the battery would have looked like from above. This long pathway leads to the mortar battery, also known as Battery Reynolds. Inside these walls were a total of 16 mortars set up similarly to what you see here. Known as the Abbott Quad design, the goal was to land several simultaneous hits on one target in an effort to cause more destruction to enemy ships. Battery Reynolds would remain available for duty until the end of World War I in 1918, when all its weapons were removed to other locations. Also on the grounds of Fort Hancock is the oldest operational lighthouse in America, the Sandy Hook Light, built in 1764. Besides all the battery remnants, the most significant remains of the fort are around what is known as Officers' Row. As part of an effort to utilize these historic structures, the Fort Hancock 21st Century Federal Advisory Committee was established to figure out a leasing model for future use of these buildings. According to an article in the Asbury Park Press this past June, only one of the buildings has been leased so far, while 13 others appear in development stages. While some of the buildings appear in great condition, many others are undergoing restoration, and some are even in complete disrepair. By the conclusion of World War II, it was believed the gun defenses were obsolete, and eventually by the mid-1950s, Fort Hancock was strictly used as a Nike missile base. By 1974, the whole program was scrapped and the land was turned over to the National Park System. Besides getting a glimpse of the decaying structures, visitors to Fort Hancock can hit up Sandy Hook's beach areas for swimming or fishing, or utilize the 7-mile biking path. Regardless of how you choose to use your time, there's no shortage of things to do on this historic peninsula. Well, that's it for this episode of Destination Anywhere. Check me out next time, and in the meantime, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to the Mickey Shuffle.